SpectraMagic NX2's Canvas Window Editor is a powerful tool to help operators or project owners to generate templates for colour communication and reporting. The system will be familiar to those who've used SpectraMagic NX, but with additional new features such as multi-page reporting, improved image usage, and user-defined data. There are many elements that can be added and customised to the canvas. This video will briefly demonstrate some of the most commonly used. The other elements are added, customised and manipulated in the same way. To edit the canvas window, it's often best to temporarily reconfigure the windows. So I will do so by reducing the size of the left-hand window pane, and I will use the X in the top right corner to close the data list window. The window is easily re-added by selecting View, Customise Document Window, Data List Window. The Canvas editor is activated by clicking the icon in the bottom right of the screen. Once pressed, the canvas grid will appear and the 4 Canvas editor icons to the left of the canvas window. This file already has 2 pages, and I'm going to add another by clicking the plus button at the bottom of the canvas window, next to the existing tabs. Then I can right-click and rename this tab. The configuration of the canvas is altered by the cog symbol in the top right of the canvas window. Here you can change the layout from landscape to portrait, change the print size, the background colour and more. The canvas editor icons on the left of the canvas are where the main canvas elements are found. The top icon is a mouse pointer used for moving and resizing elements already on the canvas. The second icon is the graph data icon. This allows you to place a range of pre-generated but deeply customizable graphs. The third icon is drawing tools used to create boxes and lines to help present data more clearly. The final icon is data items, allowing you to place everything from free text fields, items from the list items menu, pseudo-color patches, statistics labels, and more. I'm going to start with a free text field, but all elements work in a similar way. Once selected from the canvas icon menu, you click and drag in the canvas to place. The element is created with default data and can now be edited. This is done either by right-click and selecting Property, or by double-clicking the text box. Now you can replace the text and alter the font and colour as required. Next, the image element, also found in the bottom icon group, which allows you to place images of the target or sample, viewfinder captures where applicable, or images from your PC, in this case a logo. Probably the most commonly used element is the label list item object. This is located in the bottom icon set of the canvas icons and is used to place data into the report. Best practice is to resize boxes to take as little additional space as possible, or it becomes too easy to accidentally select or move items while editing other parts of the report. The box is selected, placed and sized like the text box. As you can see while I cycle between the sample measurements in the file, this box is currently displaying sample data. You can edit which data is shown by this element using right-click and item settings. Here I can switch from sample to target, pick from recently used data items from the drop-down menu, or use the setting menu to choose from a huge range of other data options from the list item menu. It can often be quicker and easier to duplicate the label list item object and reconfigure it, rather than continuing to add new from the left-hand icon menu. When doing so, you may need to delete the existing selection within the list items before adding new ones. Pseudo-colours are another commonly used element that can help identify the target or sample and larger colour differences, although a typical monitor or printer will not be able to accurately represent many smaller colour differences. Pseudo-colour patches are added like the other elements. They can be configured using right-click and selecting the property option. This allows you to remove the caption from the object and to minimise the margins, as often these patches are best placed adjacent to each other. I'm going to duplicate this element and use the Item Settings option to change between target and sample. It's also possible to change the observation condition settings to change the illuminant and degree observer used for the visualization. Next, I will use the drawing tools from the canvas icons in order to place coloured boxes and lines that will help me present the data on the canvas more clearly. Boxes are placed like the previous elements, configured using the right-click property option and resized using the scale markers in the corners and along the edges of the box. Typically, you'll also need to use right-click, send to back to help place the box behind other elements in the report, but this will be dependent on your own workflow. The next element to demonstrate is the graphs icon, which is the second to top icon group. Graphs are placed and positioned and edited like the previous elements. Where applicable, graphs can also be configured using the group setting switching. When you measure using simultaneous specular component included and excluded mode, or multi-angle measurements, or different UV modes, it can be necessary to alter which data the canvas is showing. This is done using a right click and then selecting group setting switching. Here I'm unchecking or hiding the SCE data, and you can see that change represented in the data on the canvas. I'm also going to use the right click property option to edit the background colour so the graph is presented more clearly. And as this sample and target are very dark, I'll select the option to auto-scale the wavelength range to get a better view of the reflectance data and colour difference. Another commonly used graph is the L star, A star, B star difference graph. This can also be customised according to your needs. One of my favourite options is to use the right-click property menu to enable the Show All Data flag, which plots all of the samples in the file onto the graph, with the currently selected sample represented by coloured markers and the other samples in grey. Lastly, I'm going to add another new tab to demonstrate the final element in this report, as it will need more space. The last item I'll show is the data list, which is found in the bottom icon group. Next, I can use the List Items button to add or remove columns from the view, allowing me to quickly include a lot of data in a simple table. Once you've finished creating a canvas window, you can export the canvas alone, exclusive of any measurement data, using File, Display Template, Export Display Template, which will save an empty version of the template for use in other projects. For more in-depth demonstration of specific canvas functions, check the SpectraMagic NX2 playlist on the Konica Minolta Sensing YouTube channel.
Giving shape to ideas. Konica Minolta.